What if the tiniest choice you make today could completely change the future? A single step, a single second, a single decision. Most people think small actions don't matter. But history may tell a very different story. Scientists call this idea the butterfly effect. The concept sounds simple. A tiny cause creates a much bigger effect, like a spark becoming a wildfire, or a whisper becoming a worldwide rumor. But where did this strange idea come from? To find the answer, we travel back to the 1960s, a mathematician named Edward Lorenz was studying the weather. His goal was to predict the future more accurately. At the time, computers were enormous machines. One day, Lorenz wanted to repeat a weather simulation, he entered numbers from an earlier experiment. Then he waited for the results. But something unexpected happened. The new forecast looked completely different. At first, Lorenz thought the computer had made a mistake. So he checked every calculation again. The machine was working perfectly. The difference came from something much smaller. A tiny rounding difference in the numbers. The change seemed insignificant. Yet the results became wildly different. That discovery shocked Lorenz. It revealed something strange about nature. Some systems are incredibly sensitive to small changes. And weather is one of them. Think about the atmosphere for a moment. It contains countless moving pieces. Warm air rises, cold air sinks, clouds form and disappear, winds collide across the planet every second. Millions of interactions are happening, change one tiny detail, and everything can unfold differently. That is the heart of chaos theory. Chaos doesn't mean complete randomness. It means hidden order inside apparent disorder. Imagine rolling a ball down a mountain. Move the starting point by just a few centimeters, and it may take a completely different path. The farther it travels, the bigger the difference becomes, Small beginnings can create enormous outcomes. And that's exactly what Lorenz discovered. But the butterfly itself was only a metaphor. The future isn't built by giant moments alone. Sometimes, it begins with the smallest flutter of a butterfly's wings. The famous question soon captured people's imagination. Could a butterfly flapping its wings really influence a storm weeks later? Not directly. A butterfly cannot magically create a hurricane. But it represents something important. Tiny changes can alter the course of complex systems, especially when those systems are unpredictable. The future isn't always fixed. Sometimes it balances on the smallest details. And the butterfly effect isn't limited to weather. The same idea appears throughout our world. Imagine missing a bus one morning. It feels like a small inconvenience. But that delay changes your schedule. Which changes who you meet. Which changes the conversations you have. Which may change future opportunities. One tiny event can trigger a chain reaction. And suddenly, an entirely different future unfolds, History is filled with moments like these. Tiny events that changed everything. A wrong turn, a delayed message, a chance encounter, a single decision, Many major events began with surprisingly small causes. The world is more connected than it appears. Every action creates consequences. Some are immediate. Others may take years to appear, and many remain invisible until much later, That makes predicting the future incredibly difficult, even with powerful computers. Because no measurement is perfectly exact. There is always a tiny amount of uncertainty. And in chaotic systems, that uncertainty grows over time, a small error becomes a larger one, until accurate prediction becomes impossible. This doesn't mean science has failed. In fact, it revealed something profound, Nature is far more complex than we once imagined, Simple rules can create incredible complexity. Just look at a snowflake, or the branching of a tree, or the shape of a coastline. Patterns appear everywhere, even when the details seem chaotic. The butterfly effect became one of the most famous examples of this idea. Every choice sends ripples into the future. Most of them are too small to notice at first, but over time, those ripples can grow into something far greater than we ever expected. But the story becomes even more fascinating, because the butterfly effect reaches beyond science. It changes how we think about our own lives. Every day is filled with tiny choices. Most seem unimportant at the time. Yet some may shape the future in unexpected ways. A book you decide to read, a skill you choose to learn, a person you decide to talk to. Small moments can become major turning points. Of course, not every small action changes the world. Many effects disappear almost immediately, but some connect with larger systems. And that's when things become interesting. Imagine tipping the first domino. The first movement is tiny. The final result can be enormous. The butterfly effect works in a similar way, small causes, big consequences. Today, scientists study these effects in many different fields, from biology to economics, from ecosystems to global networks. Complex systems exist all around us, and many follow the same principles Lorenz discovered. Small differences matter, tiny changes can grow, and the future is often more sensitive than it appears. So what is the real lesson of the butterfly effect? It isn't that every tiny action changes history. It's that complex systems are deeply interconnected, and even the smallest details can matter. The world is not a collection of separate pieces. It is a network of countless interactions. Every cause creates an effect, and every effect becomes a new cause. The chain never truly ends. Everything is connected to something else. And that idea changes how we see the universe. Not as a machine following a simple script, but as a living web of possibilities. A universe where certainty has limits, and where tiny changes can sometimes shape enormous outcomes. All because of a discovery made decades ago. A discovery that transformed how we understand complexity and revealed the hidden sensitivity of our world. So the next time you hear about the butterfly effect, remember, sometimes the smallest flutter can change everything. Every great change begins somewhere, and sometimes the future starts with a choice so small that nobody notices it.